Okay, welcome back to the Obi-Wan channel. I'm going to try this again. I just did 18 minutes of a video and literally turned the box, and when I turned the box, my palm hit the screen and stopped the video. So, yeah, a little bit disappointing. But anyway, let's get past that. Let's start talking about this Oracle headlight set here. The Oracle part number is a 5769-001. That is what this particular Oracle is. This is going to be an unboxing video, but I am also going to explain to you a few things as to, first of all, what I'm going to be using it for, and that's going to be my 65 F100. I'm going to change what I believe to be the original headlights on that thing. I really believe that they are the original headlights. I also really believe those headlights were hardly ever used. I really believe that truck was barely, if ever, driven at night because those lights are still pretty bright for what they are, and they're in great shape. I don't think that thing spent a lot of time on the highway. The headlight does not look sandblasted, you know. They look really nice and clean and very clear. So I'm just going to say that they're original. And I wanted to, after driving the company vehicles that I drive, I've got a 2021 that I'm driving right now. I did have a 2024 there for a short while, and they were LED lights. And it's just a huge difference. Huge difference at night when you have LED lights, or even HIDs that are done properly. There's a big difference. So I wanted to, upgrade the LED lights. Also, I really like the Dodge Chargers and what's the other one, the Cuda or whatever, the Challenger. I really like how they have factory halos on those, especially in orange. I think that's awesome. I just don't think orange would look good on my truck, because my truck is like a tealish color with the white. I think the white would look the best. I wish that this was a like a multicolored and I can change the colors. I think there's an option to do that, but there's a lot of confusion and very little information on the website, on YouTube, or anywhere as to how that could be a possibility, which is one of the reasons why I'm doing this video review, because that way you can know what the options are. You can know what can happen or not. Just because I'm going to do the unboxing review right now, and at some point I'm going to install them. I might do an installation video, and then at some point I'm going to do an operational video, and you'll actually see these things in operation. So you will actually know that by this part number right here, this is exactly what you can and cannot get, what can and cannot happen with this particular set right here. So again, I'm not an expert per se, but I'm just going to tell you what I know and what I researched. There's basically two types of LED type, headlights. You have what they call the reflector type housings, and you have the projector type housing. That's what this is, projector. And there's a third one, I guess, and that, I can't remember what they call it exactly, but it's basically like a smart headlight. Basically, it's a projector housing, but it actually actively points the projector. Okay, my mom's Buick Enclave has that smart style. When you start the vehicle up, you can actually see, out when you look out there and you flip on the lights, or the lights automatically come on. Actually, in that car, you can actually see that the headlight resets itself. It like goes left and right and then up and down or something like that, and then boom, you can see it finally stops moving around. And those are the ones that you want. Obviously very expensive, and obviously probably the kind that is going to be a factory setup. In other words, they're going to come that way from the factory because they're working with a computer that's in the computer in the car itself to direction itself and so on and so forth. So for something like what my 1971 Mustang here, my 65 F100, all of that. Well, now you're dealing with the fact that you've got a mechanical bolted location where your headlights go, and you don't have, like, I can't fit a Buick Enclave pointed smart projector type headlight in there, at least not that I know of, not without a whole bunch of modification and work. So you basically just find these 7-inch replacements, because that's what this is. This and my 65 are going to be a 7-inch. They have a 5 3/4 one, I believe, as well, for like Chevrolet and a few others that are smaller but still round. And they also have some rectangular ones as well. So just putting that out there to show you what that's all about. For me, I wanted to change, like I was saying, to an LED because of driving company vehicles, but also I wanted the halos because I think, again, the Challengers and the Chargers and whatnot are really cool when they have this from the factory like that. But also, for more of a safety standpoint, is that when you see halos coming down the road, it's unmistakable. You literally see them. It's like a daytime running light is what I'm looking at, right? And I want to have that safety. I want to have, that there's no excuse why somebody pulled out in front of me because they could not, for whatever reason, see me or whatever. I want a nice, bright, white halo or whatever color that definitely, says, here I am. Don't be stupid. Okay? So, that's the deal breaker for me. It's got to have a halo. Now, speaking of halos can come in, white. They can come in, well, let's just take a look here. It'll give you an example. Blue, red, green, amber, RGB, amber, white, switchback, etc., etc. When you go on eBay, which is where I started, by the way, you're going to find a shit ton of LED headlights on there, and they're going to be anywhere from, literally, I'm not joking, $25, $29 a pair, believe it or not, up to $100 or so. And there's just tons of them, and they claim that you can change those halos and the colors, or you can just buy a certain ones that just have only one halo color or whatever. Okay, but my point is that this is one of the reasons why I'm doing this video, by the way. I'm doing the video because of the fact that there's not a lot of information out there, especially on each particular brand or whatever. There's no real demonstration of it. I even went on YouTube quite a bit, and there was some headlights on there, but honestly, in my opinion, I don't think there's enough. For the amount of these things that are out there, I just don't think there's enough of these videos out there that are explaining that, I bought this and this is what it's going to do for you. And there's a lot, and as a lot of these Chinese sellers they misspell and they have grammar problems, and they really don't have really good instructions on what is and is not going to happen when you buy these things. And even this Oracle, I was disappointed with it because I went directly to their website after doing a bunch of research on eBay, and I finally came to the point where I started, putting in some filters like I want the halo, I want over $100, because I think it's going to be better quality, etc., etc. And that's where eBay revealed to me that Oracle was a very popular brand, and it was actually it had a reflectors type housing, which the reflectors type housing is very more in line with the Holley Retro Bright, because I've seen a lot of that there too. And the reflector style housing looks more like the factory, the factory type halogen that comes with it, which I'm cool with, and I like that, and I would actually almost prefer that as long as it has a halo. Well, that's the problem. The Holley Retro Bright, for example, do not have halos. So you're going to get the nice looking, factory looking type reflector housing with the LED in it, but you can't get a halo with it. So if Holley had offered that, I would have bought it. I would already have it. And what I understand about the Holley Retro Bright in my research is that I don't remember if it was Oracle or some other company, a reputable company, got together. They created a reflector housing and an LED that work really good and gives you nice crisp lines and everything out there, so it's not just throwing a shit ton of light out there and blinding everybody that's coming opposed to you, and then everybody's always flashing their brights at you, right? I want to be a little bit respectful in that regard. I mean, as far as when I hit the brights, I don't care how bright it gets out there. But when it comes to low beams, I want it to be, respectable, and I don't want people always flashing their brights at me. Okay, so that is my whole goal and point. The projector lenses like this, which projects out the light, and it creates some nice, lines, and it has an end to the light, so to speak. These are the most, I guess, more advanced than a reflector type lens, because it does a better job of actually putting the light exactly where you point it, which in my case is going to be the fact that I'm bolting this into the truck, into the old headlight sockets, and I'll actually be adjusting the buckets, so to speak, to point them. And very likely I'll install them, I'll back them away from my garage, and I'll do one of them, like 20 feet, 30 feet back type of things where, you measure up the garage wall, blah, 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 and you do all that kind of stuff and adjust them properly. And then, of course, I'll go out and test them and see if everybody's flashing me or not. But you see my point. But again, once I hit the brights, I don't give a shit how bright it is out there. I just want my brights on, okay? So the halo thing for me was a no-go or go. If you have halos, I'm going to go with it. So basically what I ended up doing is after finding that reflector lens on eBay, I went to Oracle's website and I was starting to look through their stuff at that reflector lens. But the thing is that it doesn't come with the LED itself. So I'm sitting there going, well, okay, so now I got to buy this reflector housing, and I get the halo, which I could only get, again, I think I had pretty much the same choices of colors here. The RGB and the amber white switchback, I have no idea how that really works. And so that's the reason why I never went with it. I'm assuming that the amber white switchback has something to do with the fact that if you're driving in the daylight, you will have white halo ring, and then when you hit your turn signal, it will switch over to the amber color and do the turn signal, and then when you're done with the turn, it will switch back and hold to the white. But there is no place, I'm not kidding you, no place on YouTube, Google, nobody says anything about it. I mean, I guess I could have called the company, but I didn't. There's just no place to find out if, in fact, that's how that works, and that's the reason why I didn't do it. Because if I knew that that was the case, that that's how that works, that it would be a white, running light, daytime running light, and then when you hit the turn signal, it goes to an amber and flashes, and then when you're done, it goes back to the white. If I knew that for a fact, 100%, and saw a video of it or something like that online, then I would have bought that. But that's not the case, so I just kind of went safe and went with these. As you can see over here, 5769, which this is the black, and then they have a chrome one that is a 5770, right? These things here, based on eBay, they call them the angle eyes, and I even saw it called angel eyes once or twice. I have a feeling that the angel eyes is because the Chinese seller doesn't know how to spell, or they misspelled, or whatever. But because I saw it angle more than anything else, and angle does make sense because projector type light does seem to angle the light out there, in a certain place or whatever to make it all work, right? Or you have a wide angle of light when you're on, high beam or whatever, that. So that's what I'm assuming. Now, before I was doing all the research and reading about angel and angle eyes or whatever they call it, I always called them dead eye. and this is why. You can see here, this is the black one. I call them Deadeye because they just, I mean, it looks kind of robotic and it looks dead. Okay, there's no life to it, is what. So I always called it the Deadeye look, is what I call it. And I think I've heard it said that way too, the Deadeye look. Because when you do the Holley Retro Bright, you do the reflector housing type things, they look like the original halogen lights, and they have just an original look. I mean, there's no eye look per se. These almost look like eyes in a way. If you look at an insect, on a microscope, you can kind of see something like that. They look like eyes, and so anyway, but that's irrelevant, I guess. But all right, so now you know what they're going to be used for. Now you know what I found in my research. And like I said, unfortunately, I did not find what I was hoping for. I was hoping for some videos and a lot better explanation, including on Oracle's website, which I did not get, as to why or what is going to happen when you buy an RGB or an amber white switchback or whatever. Because honestly, I would love to have the ability to swap over to an amber if I wanted to, like the Dodge, Chargers and Challengers and whatnot. But then again, they also say that there's some situations where you could be in a bad state where the laws won't allow you to do that, which is why I just went safe. And I think amber, you could probably get away with that. You could probably get away with amber because of the fact that it is like a driving light or like a parking light, so to speak. And white, obviously, is a safe choice because it is a headlight. So you can drive around with your headlights all day if you want. But, my truck has that teal color, and it just would have been, I think, really cool with the green or the blue. And if I could have, again, had that ability to change over to that, I just think that would have been cool. But what I don't want, and again, there's no information on the RGB, for example, red, green, blue. Look at this. I don't want to see that color, number one. I want it to be a solid, whether it's red, green, or whatever. I just want it I don't want to see multicolored. And I don't want it to go from, red to green to amber. I don't want to do any of that. I just want it to be a solid color, period, when it's on. That's it. And no information on how that works. I just don't want to get in trouble with the law when I go across state lines. I know here where I'm at, probably never going to be bothered. So I just went safe, and I got the white. I got the white halo, which is 5769, which means that's the black housing right there, and the -001, which means it's the white halo. Okay, so, and plus my truck being with the teal and the teal and the white, I think the white's going to look good, with it color wise. It's also going to be the brighter one for safety and that kind of stuff, and it's just going to work. No matter where I go, again, you can have white out of your headlight 24/7 if you've got that thing on there. They can't possibly have a problem with that. So that was the reason why I went with this. I was on the Oracle website looking at these. What happened is that they had an actual sale on it. They were sold out. So just for the kicks and giggles of it, I went over to Summit Racing, and sure enough, they had more than 10 available. And so I went ahead and bought these over at Summit Racing, and I think they were $250-$60 for this set right here. It does have the adapters in here included. A 2-year warranty. Again, if you're looking at eBay and you see all of those LED type lights on there, whether they're reflector, whether they're the angle eyes, or whatever the hell they want to call them, they're just, to me, cheap. And you do see a few things out there online saying, that they are cheap and that the halos eventually, get dimmer over time, and just things like that. And I kept coming back in my research that Oracle was a reputable company, and that it was pretty decent as far as the product goes, and that, they stand behind their product. So I spent, some money, and I think I made the right choice, okay? Because again, we got warranty, and then of course, you know, with Summit Racing, if anything goes wrong here in the beginning, Summit usually just takes care of it. They don't mess around. They'll usually just send you another one or whatever. They do really well with their customer service. So, all right, let's get down to the actual reason for this video, which is the unboxing here, and so you can go on about your life and do something different. Okay, so I'm opening it up here, and you can see here, looks like we've got some instructions here inside of a bag. We got a sticker here. What else we got? Installation guide, and oh yeah, and that's the other thing too, by the way. You will see these suckers are all over Jeeps. Jeeps, I mean, when you go on eBay, you can see them in Mustangs, you can see them in pickups, you can see them in whatever, but most everybody is always advertising these things in a Jeep. That's all I can say to you, based on what I've been finding. But that's fine. It's all well and good. Alright, so here we go. Pulling this next bag out here. So we got some splicing connectors and some spade connectors. None of this is going to be used. I will be doing soldering connections with heat shrink, so none of that really applies to me. I'm pretty sure this does not apply to me as well. These are the adapters here, the 3-prong adapter plugs, and that will adapt into what I believe, and I'm not 100% on this, but I think this is, what do they call that? Got stuff hanging up here. They call it, come on now, there we go, H4. So the H4 connector I know is this right here, because I just bought some right here. These right there, H4 connectors to the H13. So this must be the H13 right here. And if I'm not mistaken, remember I told you about how they always advertise for Jeep? Well, I'll bet you that these things right here are for the Jeep. But I don't know that for a fact, but that's what comes in this box right here. So if you want to know, this is what you're getting. And then obviously, these things are kind of weird how they're just floating there. Okay, so you got an Oracle lighting here. Look at this. This is made out of aluminum. I can feel it. I'm gonna have to hold the camera down here to get this out of here, because it's gonna take almost 2 hands. Wow, these things are stuck in there. Okay, all right, so look at that. Yeah, this is aluminum housing, finned, keep it nice and cool. Weather tight connection right here where the wire goes in, and this is your H4 spaded connector, which would easily plug into my 65 F100 right now, no problem. I can plug that baby right into the plug that's in the back of the halogen right now. But I'm going to actually do something different, and I'm going to be using a dedicated relay for the low beam on both sides and a dedicated relay for the high beam on both sides. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because, as a matter of fact, my Mustang here had a problem when years ago, when I had this thing running with the halogens, and I actually replaced my halogens. As a matter of fact, the halogens that I have out in the parts trailer, when I took this thing apart, those things were brand new. I probably turned them on maybe 5 times, but I remember I ended up, because one of them burned out, and I think they were factory, and so I went down to Napa and I bought 2 brand spanking new ones. And when I did that, when I got them brand new and replaced, I remember what would happen is when I would flip on the brights, it would last only for so long before they started flickering on and off. And it wasn't until I would kick the brights off on the little floor switch on the floor that they, came on and stayed on. And I think what was happening is that the halogens that I had bought at that time were a little more powerful than the wiring harness could actually handle on this factory car. Now the wiring harness I'm going to be putting in here is a universal 22 circuit modern day harness, but I'm also going to do the same thing. I'm going to run these headlights here, just as I will with the 65F100, is I will run a separate relay that will power straight from the battery, fused of course, over to both low side beams, and another relay that will be fused running straight from the battery to what would be the high side beams. So basically it will be going through relays. The only thing that the old circuit will do, so to speak, is going to be powering the relays. So they're not going to be, overpowering the what do you want to call that, the high beam switch, or none of that. None of that's going to be overloaded. It's just going to simply be turning on relays, and the relay is going to be doing all the work, making sure that the power gets to those headlights. And the same thing right here I'm going to be doing on the 65F100 right over there on the other side of that garage door. That's why I keep pointing the camera that way. But anyway, so here we go. Check this out. Yeah, this one's got a plastic cover, because either plastic, polycarbonate. So these are going to fog up, and eventually, the sun, UV light, and all the abrasion that'll happen, and they'll get all foggy at some point. Honestly, I really don't care, because you can also get polishing kits, and you can polish these things up, or you can just go out and buy brand new ones. One of the two, however you want to do it. But for me, for right now, for the 65F100, I just wanted LED lights. I think these are going to be the way to go. And, obviously I'll keep them waxed or whatever the best I can to keep them from getting all blasted and, in bad shape. But I'm pretty sure it'll take a couple years before they start fogging up. And if they do, again, there's a way to polish them up to make them look brand new again. So, but again, this back here is definitely a cast aluminum right here with the fins. They look like they're pretty low profile. Why don't we? Again, this is something that I think there's some dimensions on the box here or something, but this is one of the things I like about videos here. So I got it right there. It looks like it's almost 4 inches thick there. Obviously 7 inches in diameter. Don't need to measure that. It says right on the box, 7-inch diameter headlights, but about 4.5 inches thick at the most. And I did actually go look on my 65F100 before I bought these, and I got a whole bunch of space in behind there actually. In fact, on the original halogens, you got this plug right here sticking out of the back of the housing. And so it makes it pretty, deep actually. But this here should be easy, because, again, this cable can bend. It should fit in there perfectly. And again, you can see here that the white ring for the LED right there. This is going to be white as far as the halo goes. And here's the wire for it right here. And it actually comes with a... Yeah, I remember I did actually a little bit. I opened it up. But you can see before I took the video. But you can see here, you can unscrew this right here. There's a little O-ring there. And you can actually unplug this after you solder this or whatever you're going to do with this into your circuit. So this here is your ground and your hot wire for your LED, for your halo. So that's a separate wire for that example here, and they make it quite long. So my intention is I'm going to put this on. I got a relay that I'm using right now that is powered up with the ignition switch, and that relay then turns on my stereo speaker, my head unit, my amplifier, all of that. And that's probably what I'm going to do, is I'm probably going to run the power wire over from that relay, because that relay again will come on whenever the ignition switch is turned and in the on position. So that's probably what I'm going to do with this wire, is hook both sides up to that one relay that will power on with the ignition switch to the on position, and then therefore these white halos will always be on when the ignition is in the on position. Always. Oh yeah, check this out. DOT certified or whatever, SAE. That was the other thing that I noticed when I was doing my research. A lot of the lights that were on eBay were claiming to be, DOT certified, all that kind of shit. And then when you go out there and you actually start, researching it, a lot of them aren't actually. And again, at $30, $40 a pair, that's probably why. But these right here are supposedly DOT, and it cost me several $100s, a couple $100 here. And, there's a lot of people, saying that Oracle is a very good brand, and that, it's probably very true that these things are actually certified like they're supposed to be. So another reason why I went and spent a little extra money just to get that. And it says here, I don't know what this is about, but I did read about this, by the way. It says anti-flicker equipped. And I have no idea. Oracle lighting on this side. I have no idea what that means, but I did see that actually in my research, that they were saying, hey, my headlights are flickering, or the forums that were out there, and people complaining about the cheaper ones. They were saying that, oh, you got to buy this anti-flicker circuit or wiring or something like that. And I do remember when I was on the Oracle website, they did say that most all their stuff was already ready to go, anti-flicker, basically. So whatever that means, it must have been a problem at some point. I don't know. That's the first set of headlights I've ever bought, so I'm not even sure. But as you can see here, this thing is well packaged. I don't see anything else in here that maybe would indicate I need to take this thing apart to dig it any deeper, I guess. Here, I'm going to set the camera down a sec. Okay, so as I said, we got a sticker here. This one here is a registration for a warranty, product warranty. You will have to put a stamp on it. See, activate your warranty, register your product, owner confirmation, and free technical support. Yay! Which is, again, way better than what the others are doing. That's for damn sure. And here you go. Yeah. So here we go. See? So the pre-2007 Wrangler models, 2007 and 17 Wrangler. Yeah, okay, there we go. So that's what that adapter is for. That's what that adapter is for. I figured it was. Yep. So if you want to use this on your Wrangler from 2007 and 17, you're going to need this adapter. And if you want to use the on the older ones, you've already got the correct plug. It's the H4 plug, no problem. So let's see, typical information here. Don't return to the store, call them first. I should have called them actually to find out more information on that halo. If I could actually get a set where the halo, I could, go amber for one day, blue for one day, or whatever the heck. But I didn't. And just to be safe, I decided, fine, I'm just going to go ahead and go with, what I did, which is white, because it's a safe bet. Although, again, I will admit, I do like when those Challengers pull up to the stoplight in front of you and you can see that orange and that amber. I really like that, but whatever. And as you can see here, it is showing the installation instructions, of course, on a Jeep. Again, just very typical of these kind of lights. It seems like they always got a Jeep in the background. But this is the correct size that it's going to take to fit in this 71 Mustang if I wanted to put them, and the 65 F100. Now, as I was saying before, I did not really want to go with the Deadeye look. I would much rather go with the old-fashioned halogen look with halos, and there is a way for me to do it. There really is. And again, it's with Oracle that I can do it. I can buy the reflector housing and choose the halo color that I want and put that housing in the truck. Then I have to go buy the separate LED and put it in. And I think when I did the research on that, I found that I was going to be spending almost $350 going that route, where I was just, like I said, under $270, $260 for this, especially with it being on sale. So basically what I said was, I said, I'm going to compromise the actual look that I wanted, and go with this, what I call Deadeye look, as long as I get my halo. And I think it's going to look pretty cool anyway. And the other reason why I went this way is because, again, the projector light. The projector LED light is the one that, based on what I'm reading, based on my research, the projector light does a much, much better job at putting the light out there, putting a crisp line on it, making it easier for you to adjust, you know, in a situation where you have mechanical adjustment. I guess that's why I decided to go, because it was cheaper for me. Also, it was the better, well, I don't know if it's better, but it's the light that is upgraded, so to speak, from the reflector housing, basically. Now, because here's the other thing. You can get the reflector housing, and you can go out and buy all kinds of LEDs out there, but then you're in the same boat. Are those LEDs worth a shit? Are they junk? And then as you start looking at them, you start seeing that, you know, some LED bulbs are longer, shorter. Plus, that was the other thing. The LEDs have, you know, fan cooling on them. The LEDs don't have cooling. They have these huge fins. They don't have huge fins. Then you're, I mean, to me, I was like, I'd been researching this far too long. Again, this is the reason why I'm doing this video, and I know this video is getting out there and the amount of time, and I apologize if this is annoying, but that's the reason why I'm doing it like this. I'm trying to give you as much information as you can, so that way you can watch this from start to finish, and you can know what I found and what I didn't find, and what I do know and what I don't know. And I'm not even saying I know it all. I'm just saying that by me putting this video out for, you know, 40 some minutes, and it took me over a week of just constant searching and studying and researching, etc., etc. You might end up doing that yourself anyway, but my point is that why would you do all of that shit when it's easy for them? I mean, that's one thing I can't understand. Personally, I think Oracle should have on their website a video for absolutely every single part number out there. Maybe I'm, you know, hey, I'm not, don't let me tell you how to run your company, but I can tell you right now, if you had that, I promise you, you would be the most popular one. Why? Because you're giving the most information on your product. Is it going to be a way for the competition to watch you and blah, blah, blah? Yeah, but if you did it first, it wouldn't matter. They can try to copy you all they want. But guess what? You're the first one that did it. You're the one that's giving all the information. You're providing value. Very likely, I'm going to be buying from you. That's just the way I see it, you know. But whatever. So again, I'm going to come to an end, believe it or not. This is what you get when you go with the Oracle. What was I saying? 50... I got to mess around here. 5769-001 with a white halo. And I will probably have an installation video, and I do plan to have an operation video, so you can actually see how these things look like, and you know how they work in the vehicle. So like, subscribe, rumble, because you're going to find it there, and we probably should all be moving over there with all the censorship we're getting right now. I'm telling you, this is just getting crazy. I got booted off X this morning, and I have no idea why. And they want me to give them my email in order to get me back on, and I'm just like, fuck you. Remember when Elon Musk said out loud that, you know, to all the advertisers that said you have to be careful what you say or we might pull our advertising, and he said, well, fuck you. Well, I'm saying to Musk and his ex the same thing. Well, fuck you. If you don't like it, what I'm saying, and I guarantee you whatever I said was not, it wasn't, I just guarantee you. I mean, yeah, I'm bold and I'm in your face with what I say, but I definitely didn't say anything threatening or whatever. So I don't know what the fuck their problem is, but my point is that moving over to Rumble at some point, as much as we can, or finding at least something else besides YouTube, because YouTube is definitely censoring so much at this point and controlling so many people's lives because of just stupidity. And they're going against the Constitution as far as free speech goes and that kind of stuff. It's getting pathetic, and we need to stand up. And you need to support places that are going to actually support your freedom rather than not. And it's just unfortunate that we're going through it, but we are. Anyway, find me on Rumble. Find me on YouTube if I'm still there. Find me at Obi-Wan in, by the way. That's my moniker. And thanks again. Like, subscribe. Come back for more. Always going to have more for you.